So, post-lunch scientific session will hence commence. For the last session of the day, I would like to invite our guest honored speaker, Dr. Narendra Tejwani sir, currently working as consultant in the Department of Laboratory Services, Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Hospital and Research Center, Rohini, New Delhi. He has worked as associate consultant in the Department of Lab Medicine at JP Hospital in Noida. He did his masters from LHMC New Delhi and DM Hematopathology from AIIMS New Delhi. His areas of interest are application of flow cytometry technique in minimal residual disease. For this session to be chaired by Dr. Vipin sir, Head of Department Pathology, IGIMS, along with Dr. Ajit Chaudhary sir, ex-HOD Department Pathology, Darbhanga Medical College and Hospital. Can we have a round of applause for all the dignitaries on dais?
हम तो टेप दे दिए हैं, कैंची दे दिए हैं, टेप दे दिए हैं, कैंची दे दिए हैं, हमने
Over to you, sir.
हमको याद नहीं है कि तो एक जन को दिलवाए थे.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I have been introduced earlier only. First of all, I would like to know who are the PGs here in the auditorium. Any PGs in the auditorium?
There are a lot of PCs are here. I have already communicated. You will start, they will join.
So this is going to be an interactive session. So I want you people to come ahead and can we have some mic for the PGs? आ जाओ आगे आ जाओ.
सारे पीजी लोग जो आगे आ जाओ, पीजी लोग आगे आ जाओ बाबू, इंटरेक्टिव सेशन होगा. अरे आगे आओ ना, सारे लोग आप आगे जगह तो पीछे क्यों रहते भाई? सारे लोग आगे आइए, पीछे कोई मत रहिए. लिखा हुआ पॉइंटर दे दीजिए सर. नहीं मोस्टली लोग ना आगे
Okay, so in the current lecture we are going to study about the morphology. And when Dr. Virender suggested me this topic that you have to teach morphology, you know, morphology is something which is not taught. Morphology is something that you see and that has to be shown under the microscope. So I was very, a great dilemma that how should I prepare my presentation. So I thought that instead of showing you the things, I'll tell you how I do and how I will expect you to approach a case when it comes into your real life basis. So my target always has been that I teach the PG student, because I think that if the PG students are going to understand something, then others definitely are going to understand, because they are the one who are more learned people and have got more number of years of experience. So how do we start? We will start looking at the CBC picture and the machine graph, and I am using Sysmex machine, so I will be showing you the graphs of the Sysmex machine. And in more than 80 to 90% of the cases, I am accurately able to diagnose whether this patient is having acute leukemia or not, and if acute leukemia is there, whether it is lymphoid or not, or lymphoid or myeloid. And within the myeloid, in many cases, in most of the cases also, I am able to make out that which kind of acute leukemia, which kind of acute myeloid leukemia it is. So we will start with the CBC picture and the machine graph. Then we will come on to the morphology, and on the basis of the morphology, we will identify, we will confirm whatever findings we had in our CBC picture. And after that, these days molecular things are coming up in a big way. WHO 2022 classification gives a lot of importance to the molecular diagnostics. But there are so many genes. You cannot have a whole genome sequencing for every patient. So whole genome sequencing is out of the question. So targeted sequencing hota hai. In targeted sequencing, you need to tell to the molecular biologist that okay, this is the diagnosis, and now you put up accordingly the panel for AML or ARL. So it's you who is going to guide the molecular biologist कि तुम्हें कौन सा panel लगाना है. So we shouldn't be worried about the molecular things coming up. What we should be worried about is something replacing morphology. And with AI coming, we are relying a lot on AI and the automated slide scanning. if those things comes, then and we help those people to get into the diagnostics, then actually we are handing our jobs to them. So that's something which I always say to the people, that please don't get into the association with these engineering people. So we are going to see that how on the basis of morphology and the clinical history we can predict that what kind of molecular mutation is involved. Then I will also tell you that what you shouldn't do in your practice, and I will also tell you the common mistakes that we all do and how we can avoid, and that will be at the last of that will be one of my last slide. So first of all, to the PGs, why do we call something as acute leukemia? This disease acute leukemia, why is it called so? PGs, अरे गलत बोलोगे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Why do you call it acute leukemia? Why do you call it leukemia? It's an easy one.
बोलो ना ल्यूकीमिया नहीं मजा ये नहीं
Leukemia क्यों बोलते हैं? Leukemia इसलिए बोलते हैं because malignant cells हैं जो hematologic origin के हैं और they are coming in peripheral blood and bone marrow. Okay? So this is what is leukemia. Peripheral blood या bone marrow के अंदर, peripheral blood और bone marrow दोनों एक ही चीज हैं. So उनके अंदर you have got the cells which are coming from hematopoietic. You have cancer cells originating from the hematopoietic tissue. So that is leukemia. And why do we call them acute? Because they have a very short history of presentation. And what do we mean by short history? कितना होना चाहिए? एक दिन, एक हफ्ता, एक महीना? Any cutoff? There is no cutoff basically. Basically what is the funda is that in cases of acute leukemia, the patient will be able to tell you that okay, मेरे को एक महीना, 2 महीना से बीमारी है, 1 महीना, 2 महीना से bleeding हो रहा है, painless लग रहा है. Patient will be able to tell you that his symptoms start from this day. If there is something which is chronic going on, patient will not be able to tell you कि बीमारी शुरू कब हुई. वो कहेगा सालों से चल रहा है, कमर में दर्द है, पीलापन लग रहा है. But acute leukemia में patient will be able to tell you that okay, I had this disease, I had weakness, I had bleeding, and it start in a recent while. 1 महीना, 2 महीना कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं. There is no cutoff. So that's why it is called as acute leukemia, because it's a malignancy of hematopoietic origin and it is having a very short history or short duration of history. So that's why it is called as acute leukemia. And in hematology I always call that there is nothing which is lab diagnosis. It's always clinico-pathological. So most of the cases, अगर आप ढंग से history elucidate करते हो, you will be able to identify which type of leukemia you are dealing with. For an example, I am showing you these 4 photographs. Can somebody tell me what is here? What is this? Sorry?
Gum hypertrophy.
Gum hypertrophy. So in which leukemia do you get gum hypertrophy? AML it's common. And in which kind of AML is it common? M4, M5. Basically monocytes are the cells which are meant to go into the tissues and proliferate there because they have high diapedesis and it is their function to go into tissue and engulf the dying cells of the bacteria. So that's why whenever you're getting extramedullary proliferation like gum hypertrophy, most likely you're dealing with a case of acute myeloid leukemia and to be specific, monocytic leukemia. What is this? Proptosis. Suppose it's a case of acute leukemia, then which kind of acute leukemia is having? Yes. Okay, so we have said that the infiltration of the tissue is a feature which is seen in cases of monocytic leukemias. But I really don't know the reason why. Most of the patients who are having proptosis, they are either M1 or they are either M2. So that's a bit of difference between the monocytic leukemias and the other type of AMLs. This is sternal tenderness. It's a general finding which you get in acute leukemias. So patient को तुम्हारे पास स्लाइड आई है, तुमको देखने में तकलीफ हो रही है, you are not able to identify lymphoma देना है या acute leukemia देना है. Just go to the clinician, ask them the history, whether he is having sternal tenderness or not. And if he is having sternal tenderness, then he will be able to tell you. You will be able to tell him that most likely we are dealing with acute leukemia. And what is this? Testicular enlargement and CNS sign. Which type of leukemia do you get commonly? CNS disease and testicular enlargement, they are usually a feature which you get in T lineage acute lymphoblastic leukemia. So on the basis of clinical history, you are able to tell that am I dealing with the ALL or I am dealing with the AML. In many cases you will be able to tell. And suppose if you're given a history that patient is having breathing difficulty, a lot of engorged vein in the neck, signs of mediastinal enlargement. When do you get it? In which kind of acute leukemia? Thymus enlargement, correct. So you get it in T cell acute lymphoblastic leukemias commonly. So that's how, before starting to look at the case, try and look at have the clinical history, how long it is and associated clinical sign. So दिमाग में एक diagnosis बनाना है and then you have to confirm it using the CBC picture and the morphology as well. So let's start with the CBC picture. So as I told you, acute leukemia होता क्या है? Acute leukemia में ये होगा proliferating hematopoietic malignant cells and they replace the marrow and due to which you get cytopenias. That is the history. Patient ये लेके नहीं आता है कि उसका TLC high है. Patient क्या लेके आता है? Patient लेके आता है कि मेरे को bleeding हो रहा है, मेरे को infection हो रहा है because of the neutropenia and he is also having bleeding symptom because of thrombocytopenia, weakness because of anemia. So marrow से produce होने वाले cells खत्म हो रहे हैं, वो इस history के साथ आता है. So what do you see? But when you get a CBC picture, there are 4-5 important things that you should look at. One, always look at the TLC first. So first line is for the WBC. Look at the hemoglobin. अगर hemoglobin normal है, then unlikely you are dealing with a case of acute leukemia. How many of you have faced this problem कि newborn बच्चे की slide देखते हैं उसमें blast दिखते हैं? How many of you have faced this problem? Those are the naive lymphocytes, normal lymphocytes, but दिखते blast जैसे हैं. अगर वही सेल तुमको बड़े लोग इंसान बड़े aged लोग के अंदर दिखेंगे, you will be saying that it is most likely acute leukemia that you are dealing with. This is a problem that everyone faces. On those cases, have a look at the hemoglobin. If hemoglobin is normal, then you are not likely dealing with a case of acute leukemia. This might be possible with lymphomas, CLPD, something like CLL, where anemia will be normal, anemia will not be there. Then another thing that you should look at is MCV. MCV is a very great indicator for diagnosis of many disorders, often ignored actually. Like, why does MCV change? For an example, can I ask you, why does a red cell become microcyte in iron deficiency? Whenever I ask this question, everybody says the answer which I get is hemoglobin नहीं बनेगा, तो red cell के अंदर hemoglobin खत्म हो जाएगा, cell छोटा हो जाएगा. And for that I always ask one question, that this is a water bottle, okay? If you are going to drink water from it, let's compare this water bottle to a red cell and the water inside be hemoglobin. अगर आप इसमें से पानी गिराते हो, so bottle छोटी नहीं होती है. Then why does microcytosis occur? And similarly, why does macrocytosis occur? This is a very big topic which maybe I can discuss with you or tell you after this lecture. Otherwise, ये बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा. So what you need to remember is acute leukemias में MCV usually normal रहता है. Whenever there is bone marrow failure, because bone marrow से production के दूसरे कारण भी तो हो सकते हैं. Plastic anemia is one of the cause, MDS is one of the cause. In any case of bone marrow failure or ineffective erythropoiesis, MCV rises. Okay? So if you are having difficulty कि plastic anemia है या acute leukemia के साथ deal कर रहे हो, look at the MCV. MCV gives a MCV is very helpful in those cases. MCV high सिर्फ एक condition में होता है acute leukemia में. One, when there is very high TLC count, because those TLC are also counted as red cells in the machine. So TLC cells बड़े होते हैं, they affect the MCV then in those cases. और दूसरा, अगर वो MDS से transform होगा तो. So MCV you will look at, then you will look at platelet. Do you expect platelet count to be normal in acute leukemia? We don't expect. Thrombocytopenia is almost a must feature in all cases of acute leukemia at the time of diagnosis, except some other molecularly defined things where you might get a normal platelet count, but those are very rare and often not encountered. So always remember, whenever you suspect a case of acute leukemia, you should always look at hemoglobin and platelet. If they are normal, then unlikely it's a case of acute leukemia. This doesn't hold true when you're suspecting a relapse. Just remember this thing. Now, let's come on to the CBC picture, or this graph. So this is a WBC graph, which is again very important because I will be showing you a lot of things based on this graph. So on this x-axis on this graph, you have side scatter. What does side scatter depend upon? Yes, correct. Granularity. So anything which is there in the cytoplasm is going to reflect the light at 90 degree, and you will be having higher side scatter. So what can you tell me about these cells? These have got the smallest side scatter. So what is the cell which is most agranular in the peripheral blood? Lymphocyte. So this is the lymphocyte cluster. What is the cell which is having higher number of granules than lymphocyte? Sorry? Monocytes, correct. So this, after this, अगर हम यहाँ से इधर जाते हैं, so this cluster come. This is the monocyte cluster. Then, what is this cell which is having higher granules than, higher number of granules than monocyte? Neutrophils. So this is the neutrophil cluster, and the cell cluster with the largest number of, maximum number of granules is not basophil. Basophil नहीं, eosinophil and basophil actually दोनों साथ में आते हैं. Basophil इसका पीछे होता है. So this is the cluster for eosinophil. So will you remember that सबसे पहले lympho, then mono, neutro and eosinophil. Then what about the y-axis? Y-axis में जो यहाँ पे है, this is called SFL, side fluorescence scatter. So when machine tries to identify cells into various component, what it does is that it cross-react this blood sample with a dye which is called polymethylene dye. And polymethylene dye goes and binds to the nucleus, the DNA basically, DNA के बीच में intercalate करती है. So this polymethylene dye goes and intercalates between the DNA. So जितना ज़्यादा ऊपर जाएंगे यहाँ पे DNA उतना ज़्यादा होगा. So you see that most of the cells are lying at the bottom because they are resting cells, they are not dividing cells. Divide होंगे तब जाके उनके अंदर DNA बढ़ेगा. Then only they are expected to go up. So अगर ये cells ऊपर जाना शुरू हो, that means you are having higher DNA content. And what are the cells which are expected to have higher turnaround, higher division, more number of divisions? The malignant cells, because resting cells don't divide so much. All right. So just keep in mind, यहाँ से यहाँ जाएंगे granularity, and यहाँ से यहाँ जाएंगे तो higher multiplication. Okay. With this, let me show you one of the first graph. So what is the abnormality here? TLC is normal. Hemoglobin is normal. You expect it to be acute leukemia? Hemoglobin is 13.5. No. What is MCV? Normal 86.2. And what is platelet? Platelet is 3000. And you have a look at the differential. They appear normal. ये बैठा हुआ lympho, mono, neutro, and the eosinophil. None of them are going up. So you expect any leukemia? What are the causes of thrombocytopenia? Leukemia is one of the important things, aplastic anemia or the other marrow-failures and the acute leukemias. So what do you expect the diagnosis will be here? Only thrombocytopenia, nothing else is going on. DLC bilkul normal hai and the cells are behaving in a perfectly normal way. What is this? Nothing but simple ITP. Okay, the ITP picture will come like this. Sab kuch normal, just platelet count down and the graph will be perfectly normal. Let's come on to this graph. So what is going on here? TLC? 74,000, very high. Hemoglobin? 9.2. Can it be acute leukemia? Yes, it can be. Platelet? 3,28,000. Can it be acute leukemia? No, unlikely. Because platelet की half life 7 days है. उसको एक सेल से 74,000 पेरिफेरल ब्लड में आने में कितना टाइम लगा होगा? अभी तक तो थ्रोम्बोसाइटोपिनिया हो जाना चाहिए था. So this is unlikely acute leukemia. And when you see the differential, what you are getting? ये चला गया. What you are getting? Neutrophil count is normal. Lymphocytes are the one which are predominantly increased. And when you see the graph, is the graph, lymphocyte graph going up? Is the lymphocyte graph going up? Very minor amount of lymphocyte graph is going up. Monocyte अपनी normal जगह पे, and is the neutrophil graph going up? But the bulk of the neutrophil graph is lying at the bottom. इसका battery आपको देखना. The bulk of the neutrophil graph isn't going up. This is neutrophil में थोड़ा shift है, but lymphocyte is the one which is important here. So these are the small lymphocytes which are increasing. What is this? CLL. This is chronic lymphoma, not an acute leukemia. Acute leukemia होता तो definitely platelet would have gone down. So accordingly, on the basis of CBC picture and the graph, keep on making diagnosis and then we will confirm them on the morphology. What about this one? Diagnosis? HB is 12.7, platelet is 1,54,000, WBC count is 56, out of which predominantly are lymphocytes. Acute leukemia or not? Not acute leukemia. जोर से बोलो. You are correct. Not acute leukemia. But the lymphocyte graph, is it going up now? Yes, it's going up. So again, it's not acute leukemia, but these cells are more number of dividing cells. Can be CLL, can be a higher grade lymphoma, but This is not acute leukemia, alright? I'll also show you the pictures of all these graphs later on. What about this one now? TLC is 4,34,000. Hemoglobin is 7.7. Platelet is 1,36,000. Acute, and the majority one are lymphocyte. Acute leukemia? Yes? Platelet are 1,36,000. Platelet, TLC is 4 lakh. You expect platelet count to be normal? It's roughly normal only. So slide पे confirm करके अगर platelet count seriously normal है, so you can definitely say this is not an acute leukemia. But look at the WBC graph. Lymphocytes have gone even more higher than the previous one. So this is a even more aggressive lymphoma than what we had previously seen. Okay? Neutrophils are also going up. What means? But majority of the neutrophils are at the base only. This is a minor shift to the left which is there, and those are the cells which are having higher amount of DNA as compared to the normal neutrophils. So वो थोड़ा ऊपर चले गए. Now come on to this one. WBC 71,000, hemoglobin 7.8, and platelet count 24,000. Acute leukemia? Yes. This is how the acute leukemia will present to you. अभी इसी के अंदर अगर TLC count low होता तो तुम क्या कहते हो उसको फिर? TLC count low होता, एप्लास्टिक एनीमिया नहीं सोचेंगे फिर उस कंडीशन में. एप्लास्टिक एनीमिया ब्लास्ट तो अभी दिखे नहीं है भाई. अभी तो हम इसलिए कह रहे हैं प्लास्टिक एनीमिया नहीं बिकॉज TLC इज वेरी हाई. सो एप्लास्टिक भी सोचना है, स्पेशली व्हेन MCV विल बी 103. बट एप्लास्टिक एनीमिया के अंदर लिम्फोसाइट सारे नीचे बैठे होंगे. These cells have gone really up. And in what location are they? Are they in lymphocyte location, mono, neutro? Not lympho. Let's compare it with the previous one. ये lymphocyte है जो monocyte की तरफ जा रहे हैं. These are entirely which are starting up in the monocyte region and going up. This is a classical case of acute monostic leukemia. See, machines are very intelligent. They will follow the same pattern. The blast will also follow the same pattern which is being followed by the normal counterpart. तो अगर मोनोस्टिक ल्यूकीमिया होगा तो मोनोसाइट रीजन से स्टार्ट होगा, माइलॉइड ल्यूकीमिया होगा तो न्यूट्रोफिल लोकेशन से स्टार्ट होगा, लिम्फॉइड ल्यूकीमिया होगा तो लिम्फोसाइट लोकेशन से स्टार्ट होगा. That's how it starts. And accordingly, I am talking about the Sysmex machine. And if you see the graphs of the other machines also, I am sure that you will be able to find out a pattern. कोई भी ल्यूकीमिया आए उसका एक ग्राफ निकाल के अपने पास रख लो. जब वो फाइनल डायग्नोसिस आ जाए उसका नाम लिख दो. Slowly and slowly start on collecting them, and you will be able to definitely identify the pattern in whatever machine you are using. And in this case, if you look at the differential also, it's coming up. If you look at the differential also, in differential also machine has put up all these cells as, have a look at the differential monocyte, because it is coming in the monocyte location. So this is a classical case of monostic leukemia. अगर आपके पास ग्राफ नहीं भी हो तो भी CBC पिक्चर को आप देख के कह सकते हैं that it is likely a case of monostic leukemia. Now in this case, this is the case, one of the case where you see majority of the cells are in monostic location and there is nothing in the myeloid location. Okay, so this is M4 or M5? M5, pure monostic type. Okay, and if you see this one case, again there are cells which are going up in the monocyte region, and you have got cells which are there in the neutrophil location also, which are starting to going up. And this is how. Is it acute leukemia or not? First of all, tell me. Yes, because hemoglobin is 7.7 and platelet count is 54,000. And which type of acute leukemia? Myelomonostic. This is M4. You have got the monostic component which is more than 20%. You have got the neutrophil component which is more than 20%. Okay. What about this one? Compare this one versus this one. What is the thing which is happening? This and this. First of all, acute leukemia or not? TLC बहुत हाई नहीं आ रही, श्योर. aplastic में but TLC कम हो जाना चाहिए था ना, so likely an acute leukemia. But what is the difference in the graph? Sorry, this one and this one. What is happening here? Did you notice that the graph of monocyte and the neutrophil that has got merged with each other? There is no distinction between the myeloid and the monostic region here. This is a classical case of APML. Classical pattern of APML. In almost all cases of APML, you will get this. Before look at the slide, I always look at whether I am getting this pattern or not. And as of now, till now, it has not, let me down. Now, this is something important which I was talking about. TLC is 1540, which is low. Hemoglobin is 7.9. Platelet count is almost adequate. Have a look at the graph. Are you seeing cells which are going up? There are quite a good number of cells. यहाँ पे cells दिख रहे हैं? So this is what happens in follow-up when the patient relapses. So जो भी अभी पढ़ाया है वो तब मैटर नहीं करता जब patient relapse करता है. Okay? Relapse के टाइम पे counts normal हो सकते हैं. So you see lot of cells. So this is actually a case which came to me day before yesterday, and in that case came to me at 4:30. Clinician called me and asked me whether you see any blast there or not. So मेरे घर निकलने का टाइम होता है. At that time, what I do? Either I stay for the slide to come back to me, or I look at the graph first. अगर graph में कुछ है, I stay. Otherwise, I tell them I don't have. There is no blast. Okay? This is what I do, and this really works. In almost all the cases, next day जब हम आके देखते हैं, कोई एक आधा निकलेगा जिसके अंदर हो सकता है आपको एक blast मिल जाए. But in most of the cases, this practice does work. Now let's come on to the microscopy. Okay. So first of all, what I want you that on the basis of morphology, something as acute lymphoblastic leukemia or acute myeloid leukemia, even if you are getting OR rods. Why? Because I have seen cases which contains OR rod, but on flow cytometry they turn out to be biphenotypic or bilinear cells. So ALL, AML, then for the types of AML, they are not morphologic diagnosis, they are diagnoses which are to be made on the flow cytometry. On the basis of morphology, you can say that OR rod positive acute leukemia or MPO positive acute leukemia or acute leukemia with lymphoid morphology. Try to be objective as much as you can. So, first of all, how do you differentiate between a lymphoid blast and a myeloid blast? Description लिखते हो ना blast की? So, what is the description of a lymphoid blast and what is the description of the myeloid blast? Mic कहाँ गया? Mic दिया था किसी को? बोलो बोलो. Okay. Correct.
Chromatin accuracy is a thin, delicate chromatin for myeloblast in comparison to lymphoblast, and usually they have 2 to 3 nucleoli in myeloblast in comparison to lymphoblast, which usually has 1 to 2 nucleoli.
Correct. So perfect book example which this girl has told. So, how many of you have get problem in identifying the chromatin structure between lymphoid blast and the myeloid blast? Do you get that problem or not? I mean, I get that problem. Very often we get that problem. On the basis of chromatin, we are not able to identify. Nucleoli are seen in lymphoid blast. So, in my opinion, chromatin is something which is very difficult to interpret. It also depends upon what kind of stain you are having, what is the stain quality on that day. So, I usually don't go on the chromatin component. I usually go on something else, which are first and foremost thing is the size of the cell and the amount of the cytoplasm, as that girl has told in the initial thing. These are very important things. How do you differentiate? I am going to tell you later on. Then second is the cytoplasmic component, if you are getting an OR rod or you are getting granules or not. Third is the nucleus shape. I will come on to this as well. One by one we will be covering every one of them. Then in the last it's the staining. The staining often is not used to identify whether I am dealing with a myeloid blast or not. The staining is usually used to identify that which type of AML I am dealing with. Okay? I will show you the example how. So this is one of the case. इसका तुम already slide देख चुके हो. Can you tell me about the size of the cells here, the lymphoid cells which we are seeing? Smaller or larger? How will you identify whether a cell is small or large? Compared to? Yes, that's very important thing. Most of the people say that compared to a small mature lymphocyte nucleus and keep on looking for that. Okay? So small mature lymphocyte nucleus is something that the size has a size which is something which is similar to a normostic red cell. So instead of looking out for that single small mature lymphocyte, start looking at the RBCs which are abundant around. So can you tell me what is the size of these, most of these cells? Larger or smaller? Huh? It's almost like similar to that of a normocytic red cell. So, and the amount of cytoplasm? Barely visible. Okay? This is a characteristic of a lymphoid cell. I will say lymphoid cell, I am not calling lymphoid blast. Why? Because can you see the number of platelets here around, in and around? Platelet count is almost normal. ये छोटा एक section है, हाँ? पूरा microscopic field, यहीं पे आपको इतने सारे दिख रहे हैं. So it is not a case of acute leukemia, it's a case of CLPD which you have seen earlier. One of the CLPD, I don't remember which one, but it is one of the CLPD that you have seen earlier. Chromatin, although इनका बहुत clump होता है, if you are getting a CLL cell, what is the characteristic chromatin? Golf ball, कहीं पे तुमको dark दिखता है, कहीं पे light जैसा golf ball. You see in those HBH inclusions, similar kind of golf ball you see in these. यहाँ पे थोड़ा clear नहीं है. All right. Now coming on to this. This is also one of those जिसका थोड़ा सा WBC graph में you started to get high DNA content. Can you tell me about these cells? Smaller or larger? Larger. What about the cytoplasm? Barely visible. So now tell me, दो contradictory चीजें आ गई. Lymphoid के अंदर size छोटा भी होता है और cytoplasm कम होता है. इसमें size तो बड़ा हो गया लेकिन cytoplasm कम है. So which one should you give more importance to? Size or the cytoplasm? I beg to differ, sir, but in most of the cases of lymphoid, it's the cytoplasm which remains low. Okay. Again, this is a case. This is something which is a lymphoid cell. What about the platelets in the background? काफी है, काफी है. ये वो है जिसका 4 लाख TLC था, and it has got that had the scatter had gone really up because the cells were more actively divided. This is the case of mantle cell lymphoma, and mantle cell lymphoma is one of those lymphomas जिसको acute leukemia से morphologically differentiate करना मुश्किल होता है. Cells अक्सर आपको blast जैसे दिखाई देते हैं. So in all, what we need to do, on the basis of series picture and clinical history, you have to identify whether it is acute leukemia you are dealing with, and then on the basis of morphology, you will identify whether I am dealing with a lymphoid cell or a myeloid cell, and then we will come on to how to differentiate various kind of AMLs. What about this case now? The cells, size, majority of the cells are large in size, and amount of cytoplasm, you are able to see in most of them a good amount of cytoplasm. What is this then? Blast. And what type of blast? Larger size, higher cytoplasm, myeloid. Smaller size and bare amount of cytoplasm is lymphoid. This is a case of myeloid blast. Again the same, again one of the case. Size, not very large compared with the lymphocyte, barely just like 2 से भी कम है size. This is again a case, this is again lymphoid because cytoplasm again is low. This one, size देखो कितना बड़ा है. This much large cells usually are monoblastic, and you see the cytoplasm also, which is quite great in a good number of cells. यहाँ पे आपको ये वाला cell देखिए, and have a look at this one, and this one. Good amount of cytoplasm. This is what is good. In lymphoid blast, you will not be able to get this much amount of cytoplasm also. So this is this much large cells. Compare it to the vicinity, the red cells in the vicinity. How many red cells? 4 or 5 red cells easily can go into that one cell. So what we have learned till now, on the basis of CBC picture, clinical history, you are going to decide whether you are having an acute leukemia or not. And then on the basis of the size and the amount of cytoplasm, you are going to decide whether you are dealing with a myeloid blast or a lymphoid blast. Now let's come on to how to subtype those blasts. So we come on to the shape of the cell and the amount of size, shape of the cell basically. What is the shape of, first of all, the size of these cells? Compare करके बताना. Majority of the cells, okay. Just look at the majority of those cells. ये cell देखो, single ये पड़ा है, and this one, not very large. Okay, and amount of cytoplasm? Less. So you are dealing with a lymphoid blast. All right. And what about this cell? Can you tell me what is the morphology of this cell? Hand mirror cell. जब भी मैं देखता हूँ मुझे इस मूवी की याद आती है. Why? केट विंसलेट का चश्मा याद है इसमें? So this is a classical hand mirror morphology. What you get in hand mirror morphology is that you will not see any cytoplasm around anywhere, just a small tail of the cytoplasm here. And which kind of acute leukemia? Acute lymphoblastic leukemia, now we know. Which kind of acute lymphoblastic leukemia you get this morphology? B cell. B cell. Classical morphology of a B cell, hand mirror cells. So see, on the basis of morphology, not only just the type of leukemia, you are able to identify which type of leukemia it is. Then I come on to another feature, which is feature of the cytoplasm, which is vacuolization. And which case do you come to your mind when we talk about vacuolization in hematology? Burkitt lymphoma, correct. So vacuolization is a feature of two types of cell. One is a monocytic cell, because they are the one who are going to engulf the debris, create vacuoles, alright? And the second is because of the immunoglobulin production in the B cells. So अगर तुमको कोई acute leukemia दिखता है, which you are getting cytoplasm, your differential will be lymphoid versus monocytic. Okay? And if it, on the basis of size and the amount of cytoplasm, it's lymphoid, then it's B. Otherwise, it is monocytic AML. Now, in this case, the cells morphologically are larger or smaller? Larger. Cytoplasm is higher. Okay? So, myeloid or lymphoid? Myeloid. And you're getting vacuolization. I don't think it's very clearly visible. Vacuolization is there. And the cell of the size of the cell also, you see, it's very large. Again, it's on the basis of the size itself and the myeloid morphology, it is saying that I am a monocytic blast. On the basis of vacuolization also, you can suspect this is a monocytic blast. What's coming here? What is here? OR rods. Can you see these OR rod, thin OR rod like structures? Okay. OR rod is, it used to be said that it is pathognomic of acute myeloid leukemia. There are some caveats to it, because in some cases, on the basis of the immunophenotype when you do, you will be able to identify a T lineage component or a B lineage component in these cells. So instead of calling them as AML, try to report them as OR positive acute leukemia. MPO karoge definitely will come positive, you can say MPO positive acute leukemia. In what all cases do you get OR rods?
No.
In what type of, AMLs you get OR rods? 3, okay. M2, yes. M1, yes. M1, M2, M3 and M4 are the one in which you get OR rods, okay. So if you are getting OR rod, you rule out monoblastic, you rule out M7, you rule out M6 and you rule out M0. And which is the cytogenetic abnormality which is commonly associated with M2? 821 translocation, okay. It's said to be a good prognostic acute leukemia. It's the Western data. India के अंदर 821 सारे मर जाते हैं. I don't know why. Because most likely c-KIT mutation is very common in those patients. Okay. And one more thing which is very important in 821 translocation is the OR rods will not be so thick. They are very thin and very long OR rods. So that's very characteristic which you see in cases of 821 translocation. There is one more feature which I am going to show you at the end of the slide. So now again I am still on the nucleus shape. So there are two leukemias, one on the left, one on the right. The diagnosis in both of them is ALL or AML? On the basis of size and amount of cytoplasm? ALL. Both of them are ALL. What about on the left side? Can you see something pathognomic of the type of ALL? Hand mirror cells are there now. So this is a case of BALL. What about on the right? What you are seeing? The nucleus is showing you indentation. Okay? And indentation is a feature which you see in which type of acute ALL? T lineage ALL. सारे के सारे T, अगर तुम ATLL की बात करोगे, so you get ना those flowery kind of cells. So this is a classical case of T lineage acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and many of them will give you a history that the patient is having mediastinal mass because thymus is the most common source. B, ALL and the AML, they tend to arise within the bone marrow. Alright? One very important thing which like you might not get, I don't know whether you get this or not. If you are seeing a perfectly normal peripheral bed, कुछ नहीं है peripheral bed में, and marrow is packed with blasts. This happens sometimes. 1 or 2 cases I have seen. Then in almost all of those cases, those are T lineage ALL. They are the cells which are coming from outside, has not replaced whole of the marrow. That's why you are having normal counts. But marrow जब तुम aspirate करते हो तो पूरा replaced होता है. It's a very characteristic of TLL and more commonly seen in ETP type of ALL. Now again on the basis of size and the amount of cytoplasm diagnosis in both of the cases. Size ज़्यादा है but छोटा है, बड़ा है ना? And the amount of cytoplasm in both the cases is high. So diagnosis is AML or ALL? AML. And what about the nuclear shape? वहाँ पे हमने देखा था indentation or the cleaving of the nucleus with lymphoid morphology. Here you are getting indentation and cleaving with myeloid morphology. What should you suspect? APML and monocytic. So these are the two important differential. Cleavage is a function feature which is seen in APML and monocytic AML. How can you differentiate between the two? On the basis of cytoplasm. The cytoplasm of an APML will show you a lot of primary granules because of which it will start appearing bluish and will contain OR rods. Okay? That's very easy to differentiate on morphology. But sometimes what you get is this. This is the same, left hand side is the same monocytic AML. On the right hand side you have got another acute leukemia. The cytoplasm doesn't have any granules, doesn't have any OR rod, but it's cleaved. It's monocytic. Is it monocytic? Cytoplasm के basis पे differentiate कर रहे थे ना हम APML and monocytic में. Yes. So it becomes very difficult how to differentiate between a hypogranular variant and an APML and monocytic leukemia is that in cases of APML the cleaving will be not like cleaving, it will be like cleft. So in many of these cells, don't you think that it is giving you buttock shape appearance like two separate balls or a binucleated appearance? This is very characteristic of APML. This differentiation can also be done by either by RT-PCR, that's what we prefer in our institution, or you can do MPO staining or NSA staining. How that is used, I'll tell you later. I'll show you towards the end. What is this? Nuclear morphology again. Lymphoid or myeloid? Myeloid. Yes, correct. Myeloid. And what is the characteristic thing that you're seeing in these cells? What does it remind to you? Yes, these are cup-shaped blasts. लग रहा है cup जैसा? You have got. This is also known as, some people call it fish mouth blast. These are again a characteristic which is seen in acute myeloid leukemias and specifically those who are associated with NPM mutation and FLT3 mutation. More commonly with NPM mutation. So see, on the basis of morphology you are able to tell the molecular signature also. NPM mutation usually have a good prognosis. Then let's come on to one more thing. How can you differentiate between ALL and AML? So tell me about, compare these two cells with this cell. What is this cell? Neutrophil. थोड़ा सा dark हो गया photograph में. So this is a neutrophil. Okay. Sorry, मतलब ऐसा दिख रहा है. I cannot do anything for that. Camera exact picture तो capture करता नहीं है. So this is a neutrophil. All right. And compare the cytoplasm of this neutrophil with the cytoplasm of these two cells. Same or not? There can be only two answers, yes or no? Same. What about the nuclear character of these? Compare these two cells which are at the top compared with this cell. Nuclear character is same or different? Same or different? क्या different लग रहा है? अच्छा, so what is this cell? You will be able to answer this easily. Pro-myelo में तो nucleoli आना चाहिए था. This is a myelocyte, okay? So this is a myelocyte. Compare these two cells with this cell. Myelocyte is expected to be large. तुम shape की वजह से इसको myelocyte से confuse कर सकते हो इन दो cells को ना nuclear shape की वजह से. But see the size of this myelocyte and see the size of this thing. And see the nuclear chromatin of myelocyte. It is much more opened up. इसका DNA content ज़्यादा होता है. It is more actively dividing. So इसलिए this is myelocyte, but these two top cells are exactly like this neutrophil. These are also what? Neutrophils. And what do you call these neutrophils as? So dysplastic तो है. What do you call them? Name इनका. Pseudopelgar. These are the pseudopelgar neutrophils. They are neutrophils, but they do not show you lobation. जो pseudopelgar hue book में दिखाया गया है, that is not sorry. जो pelgar hue book में दिखाया गया है, pseudopelgar hue doesn't look like a pelgar hue. Pelgar hue is a congenital abnormality जिसमें nucleus bilobed दिखता है just like a eosinophil. Pseudopelgar hue has got a hypolobated nucleus. All right. So if you are getting dysplasia, then you are dealing with ALL or AML. ALL? AML. MDS commonly progresses to AML. ALL में भी करता है, but that's very rare. So how do you differentiate between lymphoid and myeloid? On the basis of the size and the cytoplasm, and on the basis of the cytoplasmic component, you identify which type of acute leukemia for the AML type you are dealing with. Now let's come on to the cytochemistry. There are only two important cytochemistries that you should know of. MPO or Sudan black, they are interchangeably used. They stain an enzyme which is myeloperoxidase for MPO and some fat granules in case of Sudan black. And you know which type of granules they are present? These enzymes? They are a feature of primary granules, correct. So they are the enzymes, this is the enzyme which is primarily seen in the primary granules. And which is the cell which is having maximum number of primary granules? Promyelocytes are the one which are having maximum number of primary granules. Primary granules decreases as you go downwards towards the maturation. And esterase are of two types. One is specific esterase and one is non-specific esterase. What is the difference between specific and non-specific? The answer lies in the name. Specific matlab? Yes, anybody? Yes. So do you know which lineage is it specific to? Like इतना सारा lineage है ना, megakaryocyte भी है ना? You have got erythroid also, you have got monocytic also, myeloid or neutrophil series also. So which series will be stained by specific? No sir, the specific one stains the neutrophil series. Okay, so specific होता है neutrophil के और non-specific उसके नाम में non-specific है, सबको stain करता है. Okay, so non-specific esterase actually is non-specific. It binds to a lot of enzymes. So I'll show you when I come to the slides for them. So first of all, myeloperoxidase, it is present in the primary granules, and you know, to kill a particular pathogen, a cell has got only two mechanisms. One is NADPH dependent killing, and second is myeloperoxidase dependent killing. So इसलिए जिन patients के अंदर NADPH dependent खराब होता है, what is that system खराब होता है, what is that disease called as? Chronic granulomatous disease. So उसमें MPO बचता है. And what are those patients susceptible to infection with? Oxidase positive, because एक खराब है दूसरे को वो मार देते हैं. So this is enzyme which is present in the which is present in the primary granules. So what do you expect? This is on the left hand side is the same case, monocytic, and right hand side you have got the same case which is APML, है ना? अभी तो दिखाया था थोड़ी देर पहले. So this is the APML. What do you expect MPO staining will be in these two cases? What do you expect MPO to be in monocytic lineage? Usually negative आता भी है तो बहुत छोटे छोटे granules, एक दो केसेस. M4 की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम सिर्फ monocytic lineage की बात कर रहे हैं. Okay? So M4 के अंदर the MPO positivity comes in the myeloid component, not in the monocytic component. आती है तो बहुत डिम पॉजिटिविटी आती है, 1-2 ग्रेन्यूल्स उनको दिखते हैं. So this is one way how you can differentiate whether you are dealing with an APML or you are dealing with monocytic. And this MPO staining persists even if you are dealing with the microgranular variant. So that is one very important way. अगर तुमको differentiation में problem है, go and do a MPO stain, very easy and very cheap stain, and you can make it very easily. Okay? We in our lab are not making the stain, we are using kit based, costly पड़ता है, पर हमारे यहाँ पे टाइम ज़्यादा नहीं होता है, तो इसलिए हम किट ही खरीद लेते हैं. So रूटीनली जो स्टेन आता है उसमें काउंटर स्टेनिंग जो तुम खुद बना करते हो, उसके अंदर यू डू द काउंटर स्टेनिंग विद द हेल्प ऑफ जीन्सा, बट इन द किट बेस्ड टेस्ट यू डू काउंटर स्टेनिंग विद द हेल्प ऑफ हेमेटॉक्सिन. So this is the hematocrin counter stain MPO. It will either be negative. So this is the same case of AML. You see that you are not getting any brownish color, and in these cells you are seeing a good amount of brownish color. Sometimes in the same slide there was different focus. In one of those cells we were having a few granules, but majority of the cells were negative. This is how it looks like in the GeneSA stain. ज़्यादा dark better दिखता है. Okay? So I always advise everybody that use your own homemade MPO, but kit base is also equally effective. And this is how MPO staining will be seen when you use a lab-based MPO reagent in monocyte. थोड़ा दिखेगा, लेकिन उसकी तरह नहीं दिखेगा जैसा उस केस में दिखाई दिया था. Now let's coming on to the esterases. So there are two types, non-specific and specific, and sometimes you can even combine the two. That is called as dual esterase. So how do you do? पहले एक specific esterase की staining करते हैं, बाद में non-specific की करते हैं. The difference between the two staining is एक के अंदर कपलिंग रिएजेंट फास्ट ब्लू बीबी होता है, दूसरे के अंदर पैरारोजेनिलीन होता है. सो पैरारोजेनिलीन गिव्स अ ब्राउनिश कलर एंड फास्ट ब्लू बीबी गिव्स ब्लू कलर. तो स्पेसिफिक वाला ब्लू स्टेन हो जाता है और नॉन स्पेसिफिक वाला ब्राउन स्टेन हो जाता है. सो NSC staining is done primarily for two purposes. Okay, one is to confirm whether you're dealing with a monocytic leukemia or not. This is how it will appear in a monocytic leukemia. And when, because I told you this is non-specific I am talking about. Okay, non-specific है, सबको stain करेगा, तो कैसे identify करोगे whether it is monocytic or not? You do the same staining after adding fluoride into that solution. And what will happen? The staining will completely go. जैसे negative cells तुमको दिख रहे हैं, ऐसे सारे के सारे cells आ जाएंगे. Okay, this is what is called as fluoride sensitive NSC. And this particular thing is very specific to monocytic. Rest all of the NSC staining is resistant to fluoride or partially resistant to fluoride. So what you will remember, NSC is for monocytic component when you show it along with the fluoride staining. One more important case where you get NSC positivity is in cases of megakaryocytic leukemia, and that will be seen in a characteristic dot-like fashion at one pole. And if you are seeing same dot-like positivity in lymphoid morphology, then that is a case of T-cell ALL usually. Now what is dual esterase? Dual esterase हम करते हैं एक ही स्लाइड के ऊपर, NSC भी करते हो और specific esterase भी करते हो. So you see these blue cells, these are the myeloid component which are being stained by the specific esterase, and the brown cells which are being stained by the non-specific esterase. So individually you can compare कि दोनों का component 20% से ज़्यादा है कि नहीं है. If they are more than 20%, then you can definitely say that you are dealing with M4 and not M5. That hardly matters for the clinician, although उसके लिए treatment same. So we are not doing this. Is one of the photographs that I've taken from the Now, can you predict the molecular abnormality by the morphology? Yes, there are just 4 or 5 things into this which I'm going to show. Then I'll be done. This thing I have already told you. This is the characteristic cup-shaped myeloid morphology which you get in cases of NPM mutation and less commonly in FLT3 mutation. All right. So you can say that you go and do the NPM and FLT3 mutation testing, specifically in those cases which are cytogenetically normal. NPM and FLT3 have got their prognostic significance only in cytogenetically normal AMLs, not in the cytogenetically abnormal AMLs. What are you getting here? Blast, which type? Myeloid or lymphoid? Which type of myeloid? Cleave दिख रहे हैं? So monocytic, okay? Because it's not looking like APML. What are these cells? No, these are eosinophils. Okay. So these are the eosinophilic precursor. But what you get in these cells are these basophilic granules. So in cases where you're getting AML, monocytic AML specifically, with these eosinophils showing basophilic granule, this is a dyspoetic feature, that there are basophilic granules present in eosinophil. This is a feature which you get in inversion 16 type of AML, usually a bad risk AML. And this is the NPM thing, which the 821 translocation I was talking about. In addition to having very thin and slender all rod, इसके अंदर है बिल्कुल पतला और लंबा all rod. In addition to this thin and slender all rod, what you will be getting is perinuclear clearing. This is a very important feature which you get in 821 translocation. This is again a picture I have taken from the internet. And what is this? What is going on here? AML or ALL? AML or ALL? AML. And what is going on in this cell? क्या हो रहा है? Hemophagocytosis. Okay. So hemophagocytosis अगर किसी leukemia पे at the time of diagnosis दिखती है, that's a very specific feature in 816 translocated AML. Very bad disease doesn't respond to any therapy. So to summarize, morphology is an indispensable tool. Something like when you process some sample for diagnosis of acute leukemia is made on the basis of flow cytometry. But flow में panel कौन सा लगाना है? There are 32,000 antibodies which are being offered by BD India. So 32,000 तो नहीं use करते हैं. You have to curtail. You have to be cost effective. So कौन सा panel लगाना है? How will that thing be decided? It will be decided primarily on the basis of morphology. On the basis of morphology, you decide whether you have to put lymphoma marker or whether you have to put acute leukemia marker, and acute leukemia also what type of how many marker you want to use for myeloid, lymphoid. All those things need to be decided. So morphology is an indispensable tool in the diagnosis of acute leukemia till the time we don't get replaced by AI. Okay? So मुझे लगता है हम लोगों का तो फ्यूचर निकल जाएगा, बाकी आने वाली जनरेशन के बारे में मुझे पता नहीं है. So second thing, careful examination of the morphology is must with clinical history, and it may also indicate towards the underlying molecular abnormality. Avoid giving specific diagnosis like ALL. Give more broad diagnosis like acute leukemia with lymphoid morphology, or within the AML you can say OROD positive acute leukemia, MPO positive acute leukemia, or fluoride sensitive acute leukemia. Something like this you give. But remember one thing, everything, even morphology has got very overlapping features. And for that I always show this example to everyone. Can you tell me what are these cells? What is this? ORODs दिख रही हैं? What is the diagnosis? OROD दिख रही है? फैगट दिख रहा है ये रहा? कितनी सारी OROD है इसमें नीचे? इसमें भी कितनी सारी ORODs हैं? अरे बताओ, एक्यूट ल्यूकीमिया है? अच्छा, फॉरगेट द ORODs. सोचो इसके अंदर OROD नहीं है. डायग्नोसिस क्या है फिर? Plasma cells, correct. These are the plasma cells. May show you these much of ORODs. Okay? You can also get blast-like cell in when you get I have seen a case in which there were 28% blastoid cells in the peripheral bed, and all those were CA breast cells. These are the things which come. So, the disease doesn't read the book and then come to it. So try and have a comprehensive approach. Clinical history is जरूर लेना है, and try to achieve a specific diagnosis. And I always say, experience is something which teaches you over the period of years. गलती आप करोगे, आप ज़्यादा करोगे, हम कम करते हैं, पर हमसे भी गलती होती है. ऐसा भी हुआ है कि AML को TAL डायग्नोस कर दिया है. But those are the limitation. वो किताब पढ़ के नहीं आई थी डिजीज. So, पर गलती उन्हीं लोगों से होती है जो काम करते हैं. जो काम नहीं करते उनसे गलती कभी नहीं होगी. With that, I will say thank you. Hope you are not bored.
चाय वो आ रहा है ना? नींद आ रहा है.
And I am happy to take the questions. It's not like one of the chairperson previously said that guest speakers are not allowed question, but I would be happy if you ask question, because the questions तभी होंगे जब समझ में आया हो कुछ.
Very good talk. Just one observation of mine
Yes, sir.
with the reticulocyte. In CLL, I have found that very routinely they show normal rating. But CLL too many times goes with anemia, and while grading, anemia is taken care of. But in CLL, too many times we are getting a hemolytic episode. In that case also there will be anemia, and in those cases, retic are very high.
So,
And third observation is
yes, sir.
that CLL in its very bad form, like that 4 lakh count of lymphocytes.
Yes, sir.
See, the retic count goes dismal, less than 10,000. This is my observation. I
Correct,
wanted
sir.
to put with the CLL, and more so that your talk was very beautiful. Generally, we don't get difficulty in recognizing the blast with the company they keep, like M2 or M3 if we are getting granules, M4 and M5. But the real difficulty we get M1, L2 and M6, M7, sorry. And in those cases, blasts are having compact appearance as well. Very good talk, sir. Very good talk. Morphology is very important, and very good talk on air. Thank you, sir.
Thank you about the CLL which sir has said. So see, what are the indication of treatment in CLL? One is falling hemoglobin, second is falling platelet count, or the lymphocyte doubling time less than 12 months. Okay, these are the usual, or presence of B symptoms. These are the usual indication. So अगर suppose उस 4 लाख वाले का count, 4 लाख वाला जो patient था, उसका hemoglobin था 7.9, which is below 10, which is the cutoff for the treatment. As sir said, you do retic count in these cases. If retic count is high, then likely you are dealing with AIHA, which happens commonly. Then those are the patients who do not require chemotherapy, because the benefits of giving chemotherapy are less than what side effects you will get out of chemotherapy. So in those patients, you just give steroid. Okay, even at 5 lakh count, you just give steroid, and the patient maintains really well. So रेटिक काउंट करने का रीजन ये होता है तुम्हें AIHA रूल आउट करना है. अगर रेटिक काउंट लो है, देन व्हाट इज द कॉज ऑफ एनीमिया? किसी का हीमोग्लोबिन 7 है, दैट 4 लाख वाला जो केस है, इसके अंदर रेटिक काउंट वाज वेरी लो. सो व्हाट विल द ट्रीटमेंट इंडिकेशन इन दैट केस? नो सर, उसका रीजन है कि सेल्स इतने ज्यादा हो गए, उन्होंने मैरो को रिप्लेस कर दिया. दैट इज व्हाट इज द इंडिकेशन ऑफ द ट्रीटमेंट. नाउ कीमो. Thank you. I didn't show you M7 because M7 is usually not a morphologic diagnosis. हमको हमेशा पढ़ाया जाता है cytoplasmic blabbing होती है, but cytoplasmic blabbing is most of the times a degenerative artifact in the blast rather than being true finding. Okay. One important thing in M7 is M7 के अंदर bone biopsy अगर आपके पास है, you will be getting extensive fibrosis. That's a very important finding. And M6 again is not a morphologic diagnosis. It's usually a diagnosis which is made on flow. So I didn't include that. I've only seen one case of AML M6 because nowadays जो पहले पुराना erythroid myeloid leukemia था, that has been taken out. Now it's only pure erythroid leukemia. So that's why I have not shown that case. But
you haven't mentioned anything about how to differentiate types of leukemias, AML or AML on basis of pass.
So yeah, pass staining के बारे में डेसी बहुत कुछ लिखता है, but when you start practicing ना, you will see that both types of ALL start showing those dot-like positivity. Although it is said that dot-like positivity is more a feature of T, but ऐसा नहीं है, B के अंदर भी दिखता है. That's why I have included only those things which are really used in the clinical practice. Not something, I have not gone into the books. You can go and read the books yourself. I have tried to give you an overview how you really are going to practice.
Just one question. In TLL, sometimes cytoplasm is abundant, and we confuse
Cytoplasm is?
a little bit more.
Okay.
So we can confuse with the AML also.
Correct, sir. But size in those cases will definitely be very low. And one more thing, TLL tend to present with extensive lymphadenopathy, which is usually not seen in BLL. BLL के अंदर कम मिलता है lymphadenopathy, मिलता है but कम मिलता है.
How many cases you are doing flow cytometry percentage-wise?
Percentage-wise, 100%, sir. मतलब if you ask me that how many cases of acute leukemia that comes to me get a flow cytometry, because see, nowadays without flow cytometry, no case is treated. So either they have already got a flow cytometry done outside and they are just coming to us with the treatment. In those cases, it's again on the clinician whether they want to get it done or not. But in most of those cases also they get it repeated with us because we have to do MRD, AML MRD, BLL MRD and TLL MRD. So for the follow-up, when we want to do the MRD assay, we need the diagnostic immunophenotype. Not in B, but in all cases of AML. Now AML MRD guidelines, it has come that if you don't know the diagnostic immunophenotype, don't do AML MRD. So in cases mein karna padta hai. So practically in all diagnostic cases, but when you start doing MRD assay, you will see that the number of MRDs become more than the diagnostic. The reason is diagnostic तो एक बार होता है, MRD तो बार-बार होता है. Patient तो ज़्यादा दिन रहेगा ना जिंदा.
So thank you. So with this we conclude the session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tejwani sir. It was a very informative session, and I'm very sure all the PG residents would have gained a lot from this particular session. So I would like now request Dr. Virendra sir to felicitate Tejwani sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I would request Dr. K.K. Mani, sir, to felicitate our chairperson, Dr. Jeet, sir, and Dr. Vipin, sir, on the dais. Can we have a round of applause, please? Thank you, sir. With this, we come to a conclusion to the scientific sessions for today. Dinner would be ready at GIP Hotel at 7 p.m.
No. General body meeting.
General body meeting would be commencing. Sir, please.
जाके बोलो
हमको जो लग रहा था लेकिन ये पलटी में लग रहा था ये एमसी भी बना अगर किसी कारण से ये सब ज़्यादा बार डिवाइड हो ज़्यादा लोगों में डिवाइड हो साइज छोटा हो और कम बार डिवाइड हो तो बड़ा
Now, Joint Secretary, Dr. Smith, Treasurer, Dr. Abdesh Prasad, Abdesh Kumar.
VP को भी बुला लीजिए, वो चेयर है ना लगेगा, VP को भी बुला लीजिए, शोभा होता है, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट को भी बुला लीजिए।
ज़्यादा बार डिवाइड होगा तो छोटा हो जाएगा कम बार डिवाइड होगा तो बड़ा हो जाएगा
Now I will like to invite Vice President Dr. Virendra Prasad also. Dr. Virendra Prasad, please.
कोई भी हीमोग्लोबिन सेल के न्यूक्लियस में जाता है तो डिवीजन के लिए
एक और हो गए ना,
आपसे
वो हो गए।
करना पड़ेगा किसी भी जो डायरेक्ट हीमोग्लोबिन को हीमोग्लोबिन
अरे वो एक ही है,
तो हीमोग्लोबिन कंटेंट
एक ही है।
हीमो आयरन अब ये आयरन
तो अशोक जी आप भी आइए यहाँ पर। I request secretary to proceed for the annual meeting. Handed over to Dr. Smith, please.
Now it has been more than 2 years since we last met. A lot of water has flown from under the bridge since then. It has been really tough time for all of us. All the academic activities were put on hold. Last year we tried to kick-start it with 2 CMEs, one at Bhagalpur and one at Kishangarh. And then, of course, we had a conference planned for Pavapuri. Now that you did in the capacity of IGIMS, Dr. Sir. IAPM जो किया था उसकी बात है। So, that is our plan even this year. At least 2 CMEs in addition to the national to the annual conference. Now, shall we begin the meeting? The meeting will start with the President's address.
जैसा सुमित भाई ने कहा कि हम लोग काफ़ी दिनों से जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग नहीं कर पाए हैं। उसका एक खास वजह रहा कोरोना, जिसमें हम लोग कभी बैठक नहीं कर पाए और ना ही कोई कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड हो पाया। मैं आज बहुत खुश हूँ कि मेरे यहाँ इस प्रांगण में आप लोग पुनः इसे IAPM बिहार चैप्टर को जीवित किया है और मैं चाहूँगा कि एक्टिवली आप लोग इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करें सो दैट हम लोग इसको कंटिन्यू करें और हर एनुअल जो हम लोग इसको काम करते रहें, कॉन्फ्रेंस करें। मैं चाहूँगा कि आप लोग इसमें एक्टिवली जो अपनी बातें हैं जनरल बॉडी में वो कहते हैं, किसी बात को अपने मन में नहीं रखते हैं, क्योंकि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जब तक आप खुल के साथ नहीं आइएगा तब तक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कभी मजबूत नहीं होता है। हमारे बहुत रेस्पेक्टेड पर्सन्स लोग बैठे हुए हैं, डॉक्टर शाही, डॉक्टर अजीत चौधरी। मैं उनसे चाहूँगा कि अपना गाइडलाइन इस पर दें कि हम लोग अपने IAPM को कैसे मजबूत करें और किन किन बातों पर ध्यान रखें। डॉक्टर शाही सर, प्लीज आप थोड़ा सा लोगों को बताएं जनरल बॉडी में थोड़ी देर के लिए कि आप कैसे और आगे करेंगे सर।
थैंक यू। एक तो छोटा सा सजेशन है, जब भी जनरल बॉडी होता है सबसे पहला काम तो सेक्रेटरी साहब का ये होना चाहिए कि एक रजिस्टर रूम होना चाहिए, दैट द पीपल शुड साइन विद द नेम and his mobile number and if possible if they remember the IAPM number. There is a number होता है ना IAPM का, अगर आप मेंबर हैं इंडियन एसोसिएशन ऑफ पैथोलॉजी माइक्रोबायोलॉजी का, तो वो नंबर बहुतों को याद नहीं रहता, लेकिन ऐसा नंबर, लेकिन अटेंडेंस इज मस्ट, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, किसी भी जीबी मीटिंग में एजेंडा होता है, आप 1 2 3 4 5 6 अप टू वोट ऑफ थैंक्स का एजेंडा होता है। जैसे कि सेक्रेटरी का रिपोर्ट हुआ, प्रेसिडेंट ऑर्डर, मीटिंग को ऑर्डर में लिया, उसके बाद सेक्रेटरी पुट अप एनुअल मीटिंग का अपना एक उसका, हाँ एक पेपर ले दो, लेके कर लो उसको, उसमें 60 लेना, अटेंडेंस रेशियो 60 दीजिएगा ना, और एक एजेंडा। अब नेक्स्ट टाइम से ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी IAPM विल मेक ए एजेंडा एंड ही विल सर्कुलेट टू द जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग, क्योंकि उसी ऑर्डर में आपका जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग होगा। यही 2 चीज है। और थर्ड चीज तो है कि हमेशा IAPM को आबाद रखिए और लगे रहिए कि हाँ नंबर ऑफ मेंबर्स आपका बढ़े, और एक बैनर जो आपको मिला हुआ है ना, उस बैनर को मजबूत कीजिए। हमको कभी कभी सुनने में आता है आदमी किसी दूसरे बैनर में चला जाता है, कभी कोई दूसरा बैनर में ये लेके आता है, और होता क्या है कि आपको IAPM अपना नंबर कभी नहीं देगा, बिकॉज अब जमाना डिजिटल का हो गया है। तो आप ट्राई कीजिए कि आप अपने चैप्टर को रजिस्टर्ड कर लीजिए, एंड रजिस्टर्ड का मतलब होता है कि यू शुड हैव योर पैन नंबर, और कोई भी आदमी आपसे जनरल बॉडी में पूछ सकता है। आपने पावापुरी में कॉन्फ्रेंस किया, आप नेक्स्ट टाइम जहां भी कीजिएगा तो कहेगा कि हाँ हाउ मेनी डेलीगेट्स हैव बीन अटेंडेड, आपको सेक्रेटरी नोट में ये रहेगा कितना मेंबर है, आपको कितना मेंबर लास्ट ईयर था, कितना मेंबर आपका इस ईयर बढ़ गया, ये सब सेक्रेटरी नोट में आता है। और जो आदमी ट्रेजरर है उसको एनुअल अकाउंट देना है कि दिस इज द अकाउंट दैट हैज टू बी, फर्स्ट द एग्जीक्यूटिव कमिटी शुड पास 1 day before, and next day when you are passing in a general body, the general body should pass it. बस यही कहानी है ऑफिस बियरर का। और बहुत अच्छा सेक्रेटरी ने कहा कि 2 CME कीजिए, 2 नहीं 4 को कीजिए, उसमें कोई लेख देख नहीं है, लेकिन हर साल कॉन्फ्रेंस कीजिए और जहां मन करे वहां कॉन्फ्रेंस। इट इज जो ऑफिस बियरर को हो अपना जनरल बॉडी में डिसाइड करे, वो ऑफिस बियरर आज ही अनाउंस करे। कोई तो प्रेसिडेंट सेक्रेटरी आपका हो गया हुआ है, क्योंकि आपको इलेक्शन हुआ नहीं, नॉमिनेशन है, आई नो हु इज प्रेसिडेंट, हु इज सेक्रेटरी, हु इज दैट। इसीलिए लेट द प्रेसिडेंट शुड कम आउट दैट ही वांट्स टू डू द कॉन्फ्रेंस एंड दिस विल बी द वेन्यू, तो जनरल बॉडी को मालूम रहे कि हाँ हमको नेक्स्ट ईयर कहाँ के लिए तैयारी करना है। चलो थैंक यू सर। अजीत बॉस, you want to speak?
This time I'm very happy that a good number of PG students have come up, and young doctors have joined the BAPCON conference, and that's the future of our organization. Okay. तो एक महत्वपूर्ण बात हम बताएंगे कि जैसे दरभंगा में या पूर्णिया में या कटिहार में, the vast majority of cities today are going to be medical college cities. करीब करीब हर जिला में मेडिकल कॉलेज खुलने जा रहा है। तो हमको जो प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, जो इंस्टीट्यूट से बाहर हैं, दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस, लेकिन मेडिकल कॉलेज में जो टीचर आ रहे काम कर रहे हैं उनके साथ एक एडेड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और एडेड एडवांटेज है, क्योंकि फ्यूचर ऑफ पैथोलॉजी जो है, जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं हमारे यहाँ पीजी स्टूडेंट्स खास करके, तो दोनों को मिला जुला के काम करना चाहिए। और अभी जो कड़ाई हुई है उसके चलते हम आई वॉज वेरी हैप्पी कि 46 पेपर्स थे एंड लार्ज नंबर ऑफ पोस्टर भी थे। तो ये बिग एकेडमिक एक्टिविटी है, एंड लेट अस इंक्लूड जैसे IGMS में या एम्स में या दरभंगा में अगर कोई CME हो रहा है तो पूरे बिहार से लोग आवे, और आप भी इनवाइट कीजिए, आपके यहाँ भी वो ताकत बढ़ेगी और हम लोगों के IAPM की भी ताकत बढ़ेगी। और साहिल सर बहुत अच्छे से बताए हैं आप लोगों को कि संगठन को कैसे लीड करोगे। तो पहली बात कि संगठन में एक मजबूत एकता होनी चाहिए, और दूसरी बात कि हम लोगों को छोटी छोटी बातों में पढ़ने के बजाय एक बिगर सेल्फ के लिए हम लोगों को आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। हमको 2-3 मिनट बोलने के लिए, हम देर से आए थे, कहा गया, हमने 3-4 बातें कही। साइंस बड़ी तेजी से तरक्की कर रहा है एंड वी हैव टू कीप पेस विद देम। प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तो हम लोगों को गजेट्स को अपडेट करना पड़ रहा है। और तीसरी, कैसी कैसी शक्तियां बाजार में सक्रिय हैं कि लगता है कि पैथोलॉजिस्ट को छोड़ के बाकी सब लोग क्लिनिक करेंगे। हम DM गैस्ट्रो हैं, हम बड़ा भारी पढ़ाई किए हैं, पैथोलॉजी में पढ़ाई की जरूरत नहीं है, पैथोलॉजी मेरे दुकान में होता है। हम क्लिनिशियन हैं, हमारा अपने यहाँ पैथोलॉजी होता है। हद तो तब है कंपाउंडर साहब के यहाँ होता है। डॉक्टर साहब जिस घर में काम करते हैं, घर के मालिक पैथोलॉजी कर सकता है, कंपाउंडर का साला कर सकता है। केवल एक आदमी पैथोलॉजी करने के लिए ऑथराइज नहीं है आज, वो है एमडी पैथ, एमडी माइक्रो, ब्लड बैंकिंग, वो जिनके पास रेगुलर डिग्री है लैब का, उनको छोड़ के सब लोग कर रहे हैं। हम सब टीचर थे, मेरे साथ 20 शिक्षक हैं, प्रॉपर एमडी हैं सबके लोग, और हमारे यहाँ पोस्टेड है मेडिकल कॉलेज में। एक पेडियाट्रिशियन का काम करते हैं, एक जीपी करते हैं, एक गायनी करती हैं, एक सर्जरी करते हैं। क्या वजह है? सच्ची इंपॉर्टेंट ब्रांच, और हम लोग एविडेंस बेस्ड मेडिसिन के दौर में हम लोग गुजर रहे हैं। ये क्या हो रहा है? इट्स सीरियसली रॉन्ग, और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि ये रॉन्ग हारेगा, और हम लोग जो कन्विक्शन के साथ अपने लैब में काम कर रहे हैं, ये जीतेगा, ये जीतेगा, ये जीतेगा। ये परिस्थिति बराबर नहीं रहेगी। इसलिए हम लोग साइंस भी सीखेंगे, अपने लैब को भी अपग्रेड करेंगे, और साहस के साथ आगे बढ़ के इस चुनौती को स्वीकार करेंगे। मित्रों, हम हार्ट फीलिंग को रखे हैं, आपके सामने शेयर किए हैं। What are the challenges and what are the opportunities in front of us, and let us combine together with all the might. And Bihar Sharif people had done in the past as well. Virender is there, Ajay is there. We have done a lot of exercise. अगर उसको बिहार के स्तर पर करें तो हम लोग और भी अच्छा रिजल्ट पाएंगे। Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. साई सर, हमारे अजीत सर, इन लोगों का सानिध्य रहेगा तो बहुत चीज सीखने को सब्जेक्ट के अलावा भी मिलता है। समस्या ये है कि 2014 में इस एसोसिएशन को रिवाइव किया गया था। उसके बाद से कॉन्फ्रेंसेस होते रहे, लेकिन उसमें कुछ चीज़ें हम लोगों से छूट गई इन द सेंस कि आज के डेट में भी हम लोगों के पास अपने मेंबर्स का रजिस्ट्री नहीं है। एक रजिस्टर नहीं है जिसमें सारे लोगों का नाम हो। कुछ और भी समस्याएं हैं, अगर हाउस का परमिशन होगा तो वो भी डिस्कस किया जा सकता है। उसके पहले एक डिक्लेरेशन करना चाहूँगा आप लोगों के परमिशन से। इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के पहले वाया दैट जो हम लोग का व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है, उसमें अनाउंसमेंट हुआ था फॉर नॉमिनेशंस फॉर डिफरेंट पोस्ट फॉर द नेक्स्ट टेन्योर। संयोग से 3 पोस्ट के लिए था, तीनों के लिए एक ही नॉमिनेशन आया है। इफ द हाउस परमिट्स द नेम्स कैन बी अनाउंस्ड,
Can be नहीं, it should be announced.
to be declared the next incumbents.
Let them.
For the next president, we have the one and only Dr. Virender Prasad sir.
The name of Virender Prasad for the post of president.
Sir. Dr. Pranav Kumar Verma is going to be our next secretary.
Pranav, please stand.
आगे आ जाओ,
हो चुका है। And Dr. Mukesh Prasad Shah is going to be the next treasurer. मुकेश का बाहर है। अच्छा, now for my report for the last year, I don't have much to report other than the 2 CMEs we had. One CME at Kishanganj, with the cooperation of Dr. Ashok, that was given the shape of an investicon, where three faculties, pathology, microbiology and radiology, came together for a CME. And a second one at Bhagalpur, we had a whole day CME dedicated to fluid cytology. Not only fluid cytology, all the aspects of body fluid investigations, including chemistry, microbiology, cytology and genetics. And of course that after that we have this conference.
Do you think that it is a normal achievement? It is an extraordinary achievement. You are most successful secretary. You have done the damning job.
Actually, sir, the CME at Bhagalpur was planned much earlier. Thanks to my younger brother, Dr. Satyendra, but due to COVID, we had to postpone it. This year too, we plan at least 2 CMEs in addition to the conference. I hope Pranav will take the job.
Yeah.
Now, next on the agenda, we have to discuss about the next year's proposed venue and the tentative date. Next venue for the next year's conference.
No, the president will announce. General body, if the general body wants to say that where you want to go, usually it happens that some general body decides, whoever wants to organize the conference, they send their invitation to the president and secretary.
Actually, we have a proposal, sir.
So usually then the general body may announce that if the general body agree with that proposal, then it is passed.
Okay, sir. We propose holding a regional conference next time around. A 3-day regional conference.
तब उसको ऐसे कीजिए, regional को करना है.
Sir.
I have done it once.
Sir, yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, I have done it. Then you should name it as an East Zone IAPM conference.
Sir. As East Zone IAPM.
That is a zonal conference.
Sir.
तो स्टेट कॉन्फ्रेंस की जरूरी है सर
नहीं
वो उसी में ऐड हो गया. The state chapter is organizing their state conference and he is involving the zonal.
And the proposed venue is Ranchi to be hosted by RIMS.
If the general body agrees, we agree.
Any problems?
ठीक है, general body approves it.
बिहार में क्यों नहीं मान रहा? आगे आ रहा है।
रांची के लोग
आए हैं, तैयार हैं।
उनको करने दीजिए प्रपोज, वो इनवाइट करें।
No, host will be IAPM Bihar chapter. Right. Host will be IAPM Bihar chapter, and we will be associated with Ranchi branch and regional branch. And host we will do.
देवघर में तो करता है।
हम इस बात से थोड़ा डिफर कर रहे हैं सर। तो बिहार चैप्टर मेरा उसमें बंद हो जाता है वो।
इसको समराइज सर, इसमें ऐसा है कि इन्हें consequences to attract the more bigger. See, now you saw the response in the Rajgir. And due to the NMC, now your area is getting expanded because NMC is supporting. तो आपको एक रास्ता होना चाहिए कि आप कैसे स्ट्रेंथ अपना बढ़ाइए. तो इससे आपका स्ट्रेंथ ऑटोमेटिकली अट्रैक्ट होगा. और रांची तो क्या रांची है, जैसे राजगीर है वैसे रांची है. अगर मान लीजिए हमको
देवघर में हम तो जानते थे कि बॉर्डर क्रॉस कर रहा है काहे के लिए.
हमारे कहने का मतलब है कि एक ऐसी जगह पे अगर आपको जोनल कॉन्फ्रेंस करना है तो ऐसे जगह पे कीजिए जो कि वेल कनेक्टेड. माने अगर आप पूरे इस जोन को कर रहे हैं तो एयर कनेक्टिविटी, रेल कनेक्टिविटी, ये चीज
चलो आ गया
अप्रोप्रिएट.
सर ये रांची से डॉक्टर राकेश है,
हाँ
इनसे भी बात हुई है।
नहीं नहीं बात क्या बनाई, यू आर इनवाइटिंग IAPL, इसलिए तुम इनवाइट कर दो जाके।
He is ready to take up the responsibility. ऊपर आओ ना।
That's it, right.
We have to talk, sir.
आओ।
हम करा देंगे, रिम्स में करा देंगे।
He is not from Greece. He is from Ranchi private.
हमसे कम 300 ले लीजिए, कम से कम 300 ले लीजिए।
Sir, we are ready to.
बस इतना।
विनोद सर भी आ गए। विनोद सर भी आ गए हैं। तो हम लोग के पास यहाँ पर साइजेबल प्रेजेंस है सर, रांची से आए हुए
साइजेबल प्रेजेंस नहीं है, अब आपका ये जनरल बॉडी एक्सेप्ट कर लिया।
चलिए डन,
पास
डन।
चलिए, दिस रिजोल्यूशन हैज बीन पास।
Any other matter that the house wishes to raise? Any other matter that the house wishes to raise?
रांची कीजिए, हजारीबाग कीजिए, पूरा जरूर को इन्वॉल्व करें, बिहार, झारखंड,
सर
नॉर्थ ईस्ट,
सर अगर रीजनल कोई स्टेट चैप्टर करता है ना सर, तो उस साल का स्टेट चैप्टर उसी को गिन लिया जाएगा। जी जी
करना वो सब लोग मिल के
सर, जैसे साहिल सर एक बार IGMS में कराए थे, तो उस साल स्टेट और जोनल एक ही हो गया।
हाँ
तो उसी तरह से
हाँ हम करा चुके हैं एक बार,
खीर करने के लिए, खीर करने के लिए
पटना में करा।
नहीं रांची देखिए, देखिए सुनिए, रांची का हो गया वेन्यू, और इसके बाद का वेन्यू नेशनल चैप्टर में होता है। 3 वो वेन्यू हम लोग डिसाइड करते हैं। अभी आप शुरुआत कर रहे हैं, 1 साल का क्लियर होगा, उसके बाद फिर नेक्स्ट ईयर रांची में आने दीजिए इन्विटेशन। हो सकता है आपको आसाम इन्विटेशन दे दे, हो सकता है आपको नागालैंड दे दे, हो सकता है आपको मेघालय दे दे।
स्टार जोन में तो सर आसाम में करके भी हम लोग इन्वॉल्व करेंगे ना।
वही ना कह रहे हैं कि आप जोनल में कर लेंगे, बैनर आपका होगा IAPM बिहार, बैनर होगा ये।
यस
बुझिए, जैसे कि हम 3250 मेरा रोटरी है, 3250 जो इन्वॉल्व है, we make the conferences in Singapore. लेकिन it is a 3250. It is a IAPM Bihar. Will be conducting it whatever the place is. If you want Puri, we can go to Puri. कहीं भी जा सकते, जहाँ हमारी जनता जाने के लिए, मेरा डेलीगेट जाने के लिए तैयार है, जहाँ कहेगा चले जाएंगे।
एक बार मैं रोटरी का प्रेसिडेंट था
यार
काठमांडू में।
हाँ
आप हिंदुस्तान में कहीं भी कॉन्फ्रेंस में सकते हैं, बिहार से इवन इंटरनेशनली सिंगापुर, जैसा सर ने बोला, कहीं भी कर सकते हैं, किसी को अटैच कर सकते हैं, किसी को इनवाइट कर सकते हैं।
नहीं, उनका जो कहना है, उसका ये बैनर आपको
वही तो हम खुद बोल रहे हैं।
ओनली बैनर आपका जो है करे।
चलो
चलिए कोई चीज दे दे।
चलिए अब हो गया।
ये कल होगा
नहीं, वो अब होगा वैलिडिटी में, जो चेंज ओवर होगा, जो चेंज ओवर होता है वो वैलिडिटी में
तो आज ही दे देना चाह रहे
हो गया। और
थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी।